everyone, I am here today. We are all so excited for spring, which is right around the corner, and I am here today to give you some tips on how to get your garden started. It doesn't matter whether you're planting an herb garden or a vegetable garden or a pollinator garden. You can do this all inside your home, and this is the perfect time of year to get started. So all you need is something that all of us already have at home. It is an empty egg carton. The big thing about the empty egg carton is that it needs to be compostable, okay? So it can't be a styrofoam because that is absolutely not compostable. So make sure that your carton is going to be biodegradable, made of paper, and we're going to follow a few simple steps to show you how to turn this egg carton into a little garden. So after you have removed the top of the egg carton from the base, next, you're going to want to poke tiny holes into the bottom of the egg carton. So you can use any utensil you'd like. This is the end of a paintbrush. Just poke a little hole, and this is for drainage. You don't want too much water dwelling in the bottom of these pots, so you want a little bit of drainage, but not too big. So after you've made your holes in the bottom of the egg carton, next, you are going to use some potting soil, and you can get this from anywhere, Menards, Lowe's, a hardware store, and you are going to want to fill the soil about halfway in the egg carton. Also, if you compost at home and have a compost bucket, which obviously this is not degraded yet, so I can't use this full compost, but if you have other compost or even coffee grounds will work if you're a coffee drinker, you can use these as a supplement into your soil. This will give good nutrients and also nitrogen into the soil. So you don't need a lot, you just need a little bit of a sprinkling. And then you're going to top the top of your either composted material or your coffee grounds. You're going to top that with more soil. And again, that potting soil, it doesn't really matter what it is. As long as it has, a few nutrients in it, it will work to get the job done. Okay, so we have our tray ready to go. The next thing that you want to do is place your tray underneath the egg carton so that it acts as a water filter, so that any water coming out, it catches it at the bottom. So I've collected some seeds last fall from some pollinator plants around my house, and I let them dry out during the fall, and then I've separated them out into seeds. And I'm going to plant these seeds into our little pots. Now again, you might be growing vegetables, you might be growing herbs, and that's totally fine. You can separate your little egg carton garden out however you would like. Now for a bigger seed, like this one that came from a wild senna plant, it's pretty large. I'm only gonna put one seed into one separator. So I push it down just a little bit, just enough that it's submerged underneath the soil, and I'm going to gently cover it. Gently cover it back up with soil. Now, the next seed that I have here is from a coneflower. It's really, really tiny. In fact, you can't even tell what it is in my hand because of the dirt. But for a very, very tiny seed, I might add 3 or maybe 4 seeds into each pod. So you make a tiny little space. Now you'll sometimes see on your seed packet, it will tell you the depth that the seed needs to go. So you'll want to follow those directions on your seed packet. But very gently kind of use your finger as a tamp to get that soil down. All right, so the next step after you have all of your seeds into your egg carton garden is to water it. Now you don't need very much water for this. These are tiny little pods, so you don't need much water at all, just enough to keep it a little bit moist. And again, we have that tray on the bottom that will catch any excess water running out. So just a tiny bit of water to get them started. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're going to cover them and make a little greenhouse for them. So you can either use something that we all have, cling wrap to go over the top to make it a little micro environment for your egg carton garden, or you can use a plastic bag. Maybe it's a bag that you got at the grocery store, or this giant bag that was laying around our house, and you are going to place your egg carton garden in that bag. And this acts as a terrarium for your plants to grow. So it's gonna trap the heat in, it's gonna trap the moisture, and you wanna be sure to set this somewhere in a bright area inside your house, like in the windowsill or maybe in a table where bright light can reach it and these seeds can grow. Then you watch your seeds grow over time. You wait for them to pop up, you wait to see the little greens pop up, and this is when you can transfer your plants outside. All right, so once your plants are sprouted and they're ready to go into the garden, you are going to break these sections apart and drop them right in to the ground. We're going to have a follow-up to this, so stay tuned to watch us for when these plants sprout and we can put them into the ground.